All right, you're going to have to say her name. I'm bad at pronouncing names.
All right, that's cool.
Okay, ready? 3. Yo, welcome to another episode of the BJJ GOONS podcast. I'm your host, Tim, the Mushmaster Spriggs, and with me, as always, is...
Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Nico Ball, and this week I'm actually with you.
Yes, in the studio.
Yeah, and so naturally we're late because trying to get everything set up. But this week with us, we have my homegirl with us who I've been trying to get together with to have a conversation. Haven't been able to do that, haven't been able to catch up with her, so I dragged her onto the podcast. And we're going over some name pronunciations because Tim and me never come prepared to, well, we have introductions, we just never know how to pronounce people's names or to shut down our Facebooks or things that are going to make noise on the podcast.
Actually, I don't think I did either, so we good.
Yep, let's go. All right, so this week on the podcast, we have SCHAI. I know how to pronounce the first name. All right, Diabolically Haitian is her Instagram handle. So she's got the Haitian last name. I think like a nickname is SCHAIRER. I don't think that's like a real last name, but it's Belair Toussaint.
No, that's my middle name. So my first name is SCHAI.
A lot. That's what I'm saying. That's why I
So
don't
what?
feel bad for messing this up.
Do all your names. Let's do all your names.
All right. So my first name is SCHAI. My middle name is Belair Toussaint, and my last name is SCHAIRER.
All right.
SCHAIRER.
I need to get some more names. I gotta get some more names. I gotta catch up. That's awesome.
All right, and then since I was like listening to this other podcast you were on where you were talking about being an adoptee and you're from Haitian, and because that's a rare middle name, because I know that's like a French last name, like is that why that is your middle name? Like
Yeah, absolutely. I love my Haitian roots, and so I got a Haitian middle name and I love it, and I actually went through a transition where I changed my name, changed the whole first name and the middle name and everything. And then, I wanted a strong Haitian name in the middle, and Belair Toussaint was what it was. A lot of people don't know who Belair is, where Belair would come from. They know Toussaint because they know Toussaint Louverture, but Belair was actually, she was a female revolutionary in the Haitian Revolution. Suzanne Belair, and a lot of people don't hear about the females, about the women, so that's where she comes from.
Oh, that's what's up. All right, so before we get into any questions, I guess, about why we brought you on the show and everything, on top of me being late, we didn't really come up with an outline, but I don't know, I guess let's just check in. Is there anything new with you, anything you wanted to drop, Tim, current events?
Nothing really too spectacular. I mean, this last month, November, I was down in Georgia and I was getting some MMA training in. And I really like it and I'm going to pursue that. So with me, that's something new. I did MMA sparring today and it's been a while since I grappled.
Where did you go?
Secret location. Can I tell you these things? I'm Padawan. But what I will say is that at the secret location, started off with some grappling and I hurt my back. And I'm like, I may be old, but I'm not washed, but I kind of feel kind of washed right now because my back is sore and I'm laid up with the TENS machine, the electric pulses. And I'm sitting up there about to warm my back, I had to take a long ass hot shower. I feel like an old man.
Wait, you have one of those machines?
Yeah, I got it in the crib, yeah. Of course, I got a TENS machine. I got all the good stuff. I got everything. Speaking of which, I sell massage guns and finger tape at athleticwellnessllc.com. But I don't know, shameless plug. But yeah, that's what's going on with me. I'm old and I may be washed, but I'm going to learn how to fight in a cage and get paid to do it. Let's see what you, Nico. What is there? There is no new Nico. That's right. There's no new Nico. Nothing's new with Nico.
Oh, yeah, that's about the personality. There's no personality switch up. I always got new merch, new gear, new hustles. I got a million hustles. You've been getting on my ass about hoodies and merch, so clearly I'm rocking some of your merch. Hoodies have been out of stock, I guess. We switched over to well, I built like a new website so that we could open up an online store in Brazil. And I've been kind of focused on launching in Brazil and not really focusing on the American market. So winter is coming, and I'm about to get some more hoodies and sweaters. So you can go online to favelajujitsu.com right now, and you can order hoodies. I'm going to have a drop. When am I ordering them? Next week, I think. Next week, so they'll be here for Christmas. So finally, Mushmaster hoodies back in stock. Favela Jiu-Jitsu hoodies are back in stock, and I've been doing a lot of writing. I have an article coming out on the podcast we did with Dom, but since it's coming out in Brazil and here, I need my editors in Brazil to like get on that piece. So that should be dropping next month with all the clips from the episode. But if you haven't listened to the episode with Dom, make sure to go back and check that out. He talks a lot about Black Lives Matter. We're going to be talking a lot about that kind of stuff this episode too. All right.
We're super busy.
Yo, did you come? You have the questions for like the end of the episode, though, right?
Absolutely.
Questions. All right, so.
Yes, we're going to talk about white belt blues.
All right, yeah, because Shai is white belt, and I bet you have a lot of white belt blues.
Oh yeah.
When I think about those things, like, I'm like, whoo.
How long have you been training?
Consistently, it's been, I want to say January. It'll be a year in January.
Oh, okay.
But I was training a while back, and then I got injured. I had a bad injury. I tore my MCL and dislocated my kneecap, and so I was out for a while, and then came back, and then so it's January.
All right,
Damn.
Baby.
That is some real deal white belt blues right there. That's the theme for the episode. Like, so you've been training for a year. So basically, most of the time that you've been training, it's been during a pandemic, right?
Yeah. So I started in January. Then we got shut down in March, and then we opened back. Everything opened back up like around September, I guess.
Jeez.
August, September. Yeah.
Open back up for you. I'm still scared to go out. I'm still scared to go out.
Yeah.
Like, I know Maryland. I saw one of my friends posted a podium picture from Grappling Industries in Maryland, and I was like, are you crazy? Like, not even.
I mean, it's still like very real, you know. Like it's still, but like, I had to get that work in.
I mean,
not beef like y'all yet.
Yeah, you got to get that work in for sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Y'all can afford to like relax. Like I can't.
The camera, my bad, guys.
it's all good. It's all good.
Oh.
Still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
So,
Wow.
so like I was saying, like you got to get the work in. Like, being cooped up is not good for your mental or physical health. I believe that. Like we're not meant to hibernate. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I remember when I first started training, you start getting addicted to it. Like after the first day, it's like a hug. You get that first fix. I'm serious. It's like you're chasing the dragon. Like you get out and you're sore as fuck, but you're like, I want to do this tomorrow.
Yeah.
So talk about your first class. After.
I just remember like being crazy nervous because I like when I'm around like a lot of people that I don't know, I'm like really shy. And so I just remember going in and just like having crazy anxiety, like feeling like everybody's looking at me and really nobody gives a fuck about you, you know? You're a white belt, you're irrelevant, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, but then like, I remember waking up the next day and like, yo, I love this shit. Like I want more. And then, but like feeling like I couldn't move, you know? And then like, but I was like, yeah, but I'm going back. And then I like just kept going back. And yeah, it's like that crack.
That good crack.
Yeah, it's like that good crack. You know, you always chasing that first high and you never get it.
Nah, man. I was fiending it.
Yeah.
All right, but like, so the reason that we have you on this show, or one of the reasons, because unlike normal guests, I'm actually have demands from this one, and they're performance demands. So you say you're nervous going to jiu-jitsu and you're a shy person, but I brought you here because you are somebody that does perform. What I do know is that you run a nonprofit I believe it's in DC or the DMV. You work with incarcerated women or women that have been previously incarcerated. I know your organization has several programs, including resume writing, helping find careers, but primarily poetry in prisons to help combat that cradle to prison pipeline. So I'm not 100% sure what exactly you do, which is why I've been trying to like get up with you to talk a little bit more about your organization, because one thing that Today Kids Project does kind of informally is not just give free jiu-jitsu classes, but we do help. We do have one instructor who is like a formal convict felon, and jiu-jitsu and working for the social project has been one thing that has helped him be able to successfully transition out of not only prison, but out of the gang. So that's why I was really interested in touching base with you to see the kind of work that you do here in the local area, especially with people transitioning out, and how you've worked with women and people inside of prisons. Because what I didn't know is Buddha that used to teach jiu-jitsu in prisons in Brazil, which makes sense because like I met him when he was on like work release, and like I just remember going to train with him and like tapping fists, because we start in Brazil, you know, it's like porrada every day. So you don't start on your knees, you start on your feet. And I was like, all right, you know, he's been like, he's a purple belt, he's been in jail for like 10 years. I was like, I'm gonna just shoot in on him, which was like the dumbest thing I've ever done in my life, because like he wasn't a lookout because he was kind of high up in the gang, but like lookouts live squatting down and you can't get lower than a lookout to try to shoot in on. He whooped my ass, man. Like he was so agile. I was like, yo, you've been locked up. Like, how are you still in shape? And I didn't realize until I read somebody's graduate report on him that he was actually an instructor in jail. And like that kind of helped him get like good points, because he had like went on work release and then didn't come back. Like, so that was like a bad strike against him. Like they had to come fight him. They came in with AKs and arrested his ass at the social project.
Wow.
Yeah, a year that I was in Brazil visiting, but I was at another social project filming. I was supposed to do an interview with him and the police took him. I was devastated, man. I was devastated. Like.
But you didn't, so you knew that he jumped, like he blew jail?
I wasn't 100. It took me, like, honestly, it was smoking weed in the ditch where some woman actually explained what was his situation. I didn't know that he was on work release and was supposed to be going back every night. Like, I just knew of him. Like, so Buddha was like this dude. Like, I lived in Brazil for 3 years, and like I did a lot of interviews, and anytime I would ask the story, it's like, okay, like how have you seen like jiu-jitsu, like, well, that story, like, you know, that like story of like jiu-jitsu going wrong, or somebody that went down the wrong path, like anybody from the favela. And there's like a lot of big name people like Jackson Sosa, Alan Funfo, Terere, they all know who Buddha is. Like Buddha's somebody that's fought with like Leandro Lo when they were like blue belts, but Buddha got into trafficking and he was like part of security, and then he got arrested. So like he was always the example that people gave to me when I would ask for that in like all these interviews. And I just remember like one day I showed up because I would come back every summer for like a month. And then I just walked in and like Terede's cousin was like, yo, that's him, that's Buddha. Like he's back. And like, so I never really, nobody ever actually explained to me like how he was back. And then nobody ever like, I came in one morning and then like everybody is like in a circle praying. And then like, it's just like a real somber thing, but like I didn't know Buddha's real name, man. So they're talking about Alexandre and they're kind of talking about him getting arrested, but like, you know, Portuguese is my third language. So I had to wait for like 30 minutes of them praying and having this emotional thing. I was like, yo, are they talking about Buddha? Is Buddha gone again? And they're like, yeah, they came with that. I was like, dang. So, but then my friend was telling me like, my friend was the one that explained to me that he was on work release, and my friend was the one that explained to me that like, he had left work release and stopped going back to prison because he was still working for the gang. But in that time where he was like, I guess, a fugitive, he did stop working for the gang. And they explain this all in this article. So go to favelajiu-jitsu.com and read this article on Buddha.
Send me the link. I'm going to post it.
He stopped working for the gang. They explain why exactly. But like, so he lost the right. So like everybody knows, commissary is a thing. So like even in jail as a member of the gang, he had a right to half of his salary every 1st and the 15th on his commissary. So like one thing when he got rearrested was like the social project took over the responsibility of like that commissary. Anything that the gang would have covered for him, like we began to cover for him. And then that's like kind of the same thing that happened like with lockdown. Like, these guys weren't getting salaries before, but like when COVID hit, like I started paying them because like what else were they gonna do,
Word.
To the streets.
Yeah, so that's just how it is. So yeah, that being said, like tell us a little bit about your organization and how you end up like performing poetry. Like do you perform it in prisons? Like tell us more about that.
Yeah, definitely perform in prisons. I honestly started off as a internship. I just need to graduate college, and I needed an internship. And when my professor gave me the list of internships, I looked at them and I was like, if I do any of these, I'm gonna get fired. So, so we ended up taking a tour to the women's prison in Maryland, and we actually got a chance to like witness a panel discussion. And on the panel, one of the questions that was asked was, what programs do you feel like are missing within the institution? And every single woman said rehabilitative. So like I started thinking to myself, like poetry basically saved my life and rehabilitated me in so many different ways. And so I started wondering if I could bring it into the prison. So I approached my professor on it, and she was like, if you write a proposal, I'll back you on it. So I did. She backed me on it. We sent it over to the warden. The warden cleared it, and I was in there. And then I honestly had no idea like what I was gonna do, like what it would even look like. I just kind of threw a couple like some words together, and I just sent it over. And then and then they threw like 11 women in my class, and just like random women. They didn't expect it to be a success. I didn't expect it to be a success. It was just like go with the flow type thing, but then turned into be a huge deal. And
so this was just like a project you were doing for an internship for a college class. Like
yeah, like just like an internship I created myself just so I could graduate. And I ended up falling in love, and like I ended up talking to the women a lot, and like within conversations, like when you like just get to know people, like you start person. And like within those conversations, like I started learning more about like the things that they needed while they were in there, and the things that they needed when they got out, and start talking to like people on the outside. And then the whole nonprofit was born. And just knowing people like personally who've been like impacted by incarceration and things like that, and just knowing how unjust the system can be, it's like I wanted to be a part of the change instead of being a part of the problem. And so that's how it happened.
Like what were you studying? Like,
Criminal justice. So I went to school for criminal justice because initially I wanted to be a police officer, and then that changed. And so but I was too far into my degree to like switch out. Like if I switched out, I'd have to start all over, and I was like, I ain't doing that shit. So I kept with it, and then I landed into this. Yeah.
So then you did it as a project. At what point, like, did you incorporate it as a nonprofit?
So I did it for like 2 years, and I was just in the prison. Like we were just putting on the showcases and stuff like that, just in the prison. And then we started doing outside services probably in the 3rd year. So I started in like 2017. Yeah, 2017 is when I started. And then December 2019 became officially a nonprofit. So actually like next week will be a year of us being official, actually, now that I think about it.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Hey, drop that cash app,
Yes. Drop the cash app. Y'all got a cash app?
Yeah, I mean, you can always cash app Diabolically Haitian, but Fist does. Oh wait, no, I actually did just set up a Fist cash app. Fist DC.
There you go.
Yeah. Fist DC. Yep.
That's
yeah, so you can always drop. Yeah, you can always donate through there.
Always need donations. So
Man,
how did you learn poetry then? Like,
it kind of just came to me. Like I was always a pretty dope writer. Like just in.
I feel about a lot of things too. I don't get like programs to teach them to other people. Like, and like, I think we've talked several times, like in jujitsu aspects, a lot of people can be good at shit, but can't teach it at all.
It's very difficult. You got to be blessed. So like,
well, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm like the best teacher. I'm pretty sure that there are plenty of other teachers that can go in and do exactly what I'm doing. I just had the connections, you know, and like I had the balls to do it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I just did it. But like I've always been like a pretty dope writer, and then like I was always like freestyling. Well, like not freestyling because I can't freestyle for shit, but like just like joining in battles in like the high school like hallways and stuff like that, you know. And then like teachers were just like starting to pay attention to like my writing skills, and I was like, "Shot, like you gotta like kind of get serious about this. You're pretty good." And I kind of kept with it, but like I wasn't really taking it seriously, not as like a profession. And then one day I just went to an open mic and I just spit, and they were like, "Yo, shit," and I just never left. So it kind of became a real thing.
Did you have any poets or MCs or writers that you kind of looked up to or that inspired you?
Well, like spoken word artists now, Black Shocker, like look him up. He's serious. And then Brandon Alexander Williams, he's ridiculous too. But like lyricists, probably Jean Grey, Eminem, and Tupac.
Wow, Jean Grey. That's a yes.
The same person that introduced me to today introduced me to Jean Grey.
She's the truth. Her and Quelle Chris dropped the album not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
Damn. She's a real hip hop head. Yes. We love real hip hop on the BJJ Goons.
Yeah, no, I love like Jean Grey, Talib, Ciroc. Y'all know Ciroc? No. Oh, y'all don't know Ciroc. Oh, y'all gotta like listen to Ciroc. Oh my God.
And she's a playlist. I copped Jamil's playlist because on his episode, like he's like sociopathic, like meticulous with like his music playlist, like his threats, like what he's listening to after like a bad rest decision, like. And I started like going through. I asked him for the actual playlist. It like seems like we need to get one.
You sent me a screenshot of it. Yeah, I think we should do a playlist for like a song from each guest, and I think we should just do like a Spotify playlist with BJJ Goons songs. Not like from us, because I can't rap. But maybe I should. Maybe I should.
On his OnlyFans.
Yes, on my OnlyFans.
He'll do renditions. You can pick one off.
In gray sweatpants.
Yeah, do it.
Oh, I just had some gray sweatpants. I didn't bring them. I have gray sweatshirts.
Now I'm gonna do like D'Angelo in that and How Does It Feel video.
Oh man.
I gotta get in a little bit more better shape.
My bad. Sorry, we've been getting thirsty on the episode. We're
Sorry,
getting gross, you know. Like,
we're trying to be woke and positive.
I work at a night school. Tim relies solely on sponsorship.
Yeah, trapping.
So where were we?
Now get it how you live, man.
Exactly, man. Right. So where were we?
Playlist.
Playlist, your musical inspirations. Okay. That was it.
All right, we're moving on from music. All right, so you're teaching poetry in prisons. Anywhere else you just function in prisons?
Yeah, I'm just in prisons. Like COVID kind of shut everything down, but we're doing some type of like virtual stuff where we're doing like mail-in packets. And that's it's completely different. We haven't we haven't received them back yet. It's completely different. It's like just like a pilot. Like we've never done it before. Just experimenting. The warden was down with it, and so we said, "Fuck it, like let's try it," you know.
Because that's one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about. Like, I know on Giving Tuesday, like normally I'm always trying to scrounge up money from somebody for their kids, but I did those emergency salaries and then I cut them off or they didn't need nothing. Like I just been, anything that's coming in, I've been saving up. Giving Tuesday came by, I wasn't doing shit. So I got off work and I saw that you were raising money for your organization doing boxes.
Yeah, no, and I appreciate that, man. Like you really looked out. You came through in the clutch and we made our goal. So I appreciate that. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely looked out. I appreciate that.
All right. So can you tell us a little bit more about, like, are these boxes, I thought they were going to people that have been recently released. Are you also sending stuff in? Is it the same thing that you're talking about?
No, these are for women that have been released. So, and each box is going to be different. Each box is going to cost a different price. Each woman needs something different. Like, some women need help with rent. Some women need clothes. Some women need help with bills. Like, some women need help with childcare. It's like, every box is different, you know? And so, we actually haven't started putting the boxes together yet, but I'm meeting with the team next week and we're going to start putting the boxes together. Like, I'm dreading going shopping, but I'm going to do it. Like, I'm much more of an online shopper, but I think I got to go in and get some stuff.
Right, it's hard. And that's what's dope, because I saw that, and like what really made me like jump in and want to help a lot is like when I asked you, as somebody that raises money a lot, and like people are always contacting me about fundraisers, and everybody has been raising money for this year for Black Lives Matter or charities or disasters. But like when you ask somebody like, what is in a box, like what are you giving, and you have specific answers, to know individually like, oh, some people need rent and things like that, to know that you clearly have individually selected people and have put the thought into it. And like that's really important when you like are talking about giving something. A lot of organizations and a lot of organizations give stuff that's not necessarily needed.
Yeah. I think it's important to remember like a lot of these, like, people who are incarcerated, like, they're once just a number, you know, and like their names are forgotten, their individuality is forgotten, you know. And I think it's so important. Like, myself, I've never been incarcerated, but I can only imagine how it feels to just be a number. Like, your name is stripped from you, everything is stripped from you, and you're constantly told what to do every single day. So when you come out, you want to be individual, you want to be your own separate person, you know, and like everyone has separate needs. So I think it's important that we all take our time just to like examine what each person needs, and they should get individual things. They shouldn't be lumped into just one category.
Mm-hmm. Very true. And it's like very easy to help people like that. I think your goal was $1,000 for that. Correctly. So like my goal was like everybody I think has seen the movie Pay It Forward, or am I just really old?
No, was it Kevin Spacey?
Yeah. I was just thinking about the little kid, the cute little kid, right? So you had said on your post like you needed $10 from like 100 people to reach your goal. I was like, in Pay It Forward style, like I paid $10 because you know I'd be broke. I don't always have money. Like, so I get 3 other people to pay $10. That's $40.
I know the struggle.
No balls.
So I just hit up a couple people, like, you know, that's easy to do. A lot of people like reshare stuff on Instagram and like just do it kind of like as in gestures. And I was actually just reposting something about gestures that I read in GQ. I was like, you kind of got to do a little bit more than resharing, because like we ain't eating off these damn reshares. We need money.
Yeah, that facts.
We need cash money. Like your likes don't really help. Like we need like them to incite action. You know, even if it's $10. You know, and I know a lot of people buying a lot of dumb shit right now.
And listen, I'm one of those people because them J's about to drop, and I'm tempted.
I got my hat from Portugal actually. For myself,
I only wear
black owned from Portugal.
No bullshit. I just wear gray sweatpants.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wear. And I'm not being funny. Like
you got on black sweatpants right now.
It's some sponsors
because they pay for it.
Oh, okay, well that's different. Yeah. I get it.
Wear the Black Fairy Athletics.
Yeah.
True.
Where
we're talking about like. So can you give an example of one of the boxes, just clothes, or just specific for what they need, correct?
Yeah, just specific to what they need. So I have one woman, for example, she just got out like a couple weeks ago, and she needs help with rent, like desperately needs help with rent. So we're gonna cut her some stuff, just cut her some money that goes directly to her rent. I have another woman who desperately needs clothes. Like when you get out, you don't have any clothes. So we're gonna go shopping and get her clothes, like specifically in her size: shoes, pants, underwear, shirts, everything specifically in her size, stuff like that.
What are your goals for next year? Are you trying to expand?
Oh man, you know that's a loaded question.
Oh, really?
That is a loaded question. So I don't know, like I'm dropping my own podcast. Like I'm in the works of lifestyle, my own podcast. It's called Chow, which stands for Cells Hold Open Wounds, and we're gonna discuss women who are incarcerated and women who have returned. And so that first episode is actually being recorded on Sunday, and I think my plan is to drop it on New Year's. So like that's gonna be the official launch date, New Year's. And then I like big dramatic things, so it's like, why not? Like New Year, new me, you know. And so but yeah, do we have plans to expand? Absolutely. What that's gonna look like, I'm not exactly sure. Like right now, we have the listening and support hotline, where women who have come out can call in or like go to our website and like chat with us, and we can direct them to different services within the community. And then we have specific volunteers who help with like resume, job search, prep, like interview prep, a number of different services. Eventually we want to get into like helping with housing, but housing is just so difficult and complicated, and like expungement and things of that nature. But though, like, that's just a whole nother war we gotta tackle. So we're not there yet.
Yeah, housing is a pain in the ass.
I can't even imagine. It's hard enough housing myself.
Yeah, housing is no joke, man. And then like just knowing that you need housing, that adding that stress to it, it's just like thinking about, like, I get stressed out just packing for vacation, you know, and like that's something that I want to do, you know. So yeah,
there's tis the season. So that, again, like, that's why I really appreciate or like respect people that are like you, that are reaching out and really trying to make like a change, especially in the local community with everything going on. Like, this year kind of sucked. Like, and I mean, I've had a very successful, like, I've been grinding and I've had a successful year, but like, I recognize like that I come from a place of privilege. Like, I'm a teacher, like, I've been getting my salary, I've been getting stimulus, like, I've like incorporated a business, I've been able to raise donations to help the people that I help, like, but it's been a rough year, like, economically. Like, I got news that people are robbing in the favela, and like, that's not, the gang is supposed to keep people from robbing in the favela. Like, if shit is getting robbed in the favela, it's like, oh, like, I think some people really forget that it's been, like, because we see all these competitions, you know, Flow Grappling is posting, people are competing, and that really just kind of highlights things kind of getting back to normal, and kind of forget that it's not getting back to normal for everybody.
We're never going back to normal. There is no normal anymore. like this is the new normal, you know, and it, like, and you don't realize how privileged you are until stuff like this happens.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Oh, okay. I thought something happened. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, you don't realize how privileged you are until stuff like this happens. Like, I knew I was privileged, but like just me, like, being able to maintain a full-time job, like still having this nonprofit, maintaining my apartment, I'm just like, wow, like there are really people out here that are like assed out right now, you know.
Yeah. So what do you do for work full time?
I work for another nonprofit, and we work with kids within the DC school system who are truant and their families to like help combat truancy. So it's basically like social work stuff. I'm like a natural social worker.
How do you combat truancy in virtual classrooms?
I'm still struggling to figure it out, honestly. Like, I mean, we like, so like basically
all the positive vibes.
Yeah, like, I mean, we link, like, we have like weekly meetings with the parents, you know, and like figuring out, like, because kids aren't going to class still, you know, they're like logging out as to be expected. So we're just coming up with like plans and stuff like that, and like there are different reasons why they're truant. Like sometimes they're not feeling well and they need need mental health services or whatever. So we link them to different resources within the community. So things like that.
Just on the side question, what do you think are like the main contributors to the truancy right now?
COVID.
like virtual classes though?
I mean,
yeah, man, like COVID has impacted people on so many different ways and on so many different layers. Like, in ways that you wouldn't think is possible, COVID has impacted different people. You know what I mean? And it's just like, it's impacted people's mental health. It's impacted kids like in like ridiculous ways. Like, kids aren't they're not able to be around their friends right now. You know what I'm saying? And so like with them not being able to be there around their friends and having to stay in the house and then having to stay in their room and stay on the computer, no, they're not going to class. Like, yes, I'm going to stay in my room and go to sleep. You know what I mean? And it's just like, whereas like some kids, I noticed that like a lot of the kids who are actually failing in school are excelling during COVID. Whereas like if they were doing really well in school, they're doing horrible during COVID. So.
Yeah, it's really weird. I was like kind of venting on like social media the other day. It's like, I don't know, this virtual learning is kind of like some perverted form of us forcing an educational system that we all complained was broken in the first place. So it's like creating a very unpleasant, what I would say like a traumatizing educational experience for kids. And it's not really like creating value or showing them the value of education, or I don't know, it's just weird. It's weird.
Yeah, no, this next generation of kids are fucked. Like,
it's really weird.
Yeah,
like, and like kids lack just simple skills. Like I'll sit there on Zoom and I'll tell kids like, I'm gonna show you something on your screen and I need you to write it. And like I've sat there for 30 minutes, like letting kids write notes and like come to the end of the class and they weren't writing anything. I was literally sitting there and like I would ask them, "Are you done writing?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, I'm done." And then we keep going. I'm like, what were you telling me you were not doing? Like, and then like, I literally got to go back another half an hour. Could you please write the notes? And it's just like, people people just need to be able to like function, self-advocate, know what you're supposed to be doing, be able to explain what you're supposed to be doing. What is the point of what you're supposed to be doing? Yeah. And most people can't tell you that. Like, so it's like, why make them suffer?
Yeah, I agree. I actually think school should be shut down right now. Like, I don't think.
Like, no school?
Yeah. Like, because you don't know what, like, at the end of the day, these kids aren't learning anything. Like, they're not learning.
I feel like, yeah, it probably is a waste. I got to ask my youngins, like, what they're doing. But I feel like it's a waste of a year.
Yeah, no.
It's crazy. Like, they could be learning so many other things right now. They could be learning Jiu-Jitsu.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It can be like learning simple things. It's like, how many of you would trust your kids to like cook something?
Yeah, exactly. Like
so you can't cook, you die.
Right.
Like
learn how to garden, learn how to fix a car, learn how to do housework. You know what I mean? Like there's so many other life skills that they need to learn right now.
They're not.
But I kind of feel like the stressors their parents have, like a lot of them are still hustling, or a lot of them already have the same work schedule. So it's basically like the kids are kind of lost, and it's not like they can really go outside and like do like Lord of the Flies type shit.
I mean, that's just saying you want to break the kids because the parents are stuck in a broken system as well. Like it's not an answer. It is the excuse, and that is the reason. But we haven't tried to find a solution. We're just kind of like, parents need to work, so kind of fuck.
Yeah, it's
like
be school. We can't fix school because we can't stop working. And
that's the thing. Like, this is the time to fix schools. You know what I'm saying? Like, this, if there's ever a time, is right now. Like, freeze everything and just fix the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
teachers don't get paid enough to do that shit.
I actually just found out that this is one school, like a DCPS school, like where these teachers are making like $80K right now.
What?
Yes. We can talk about which school it is like after this, but yes.
Shit, I need to be a teacher. I got my degree. Shit.
I just found this out today. I was like, what? It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's wild. All right, so again, venting. See, this is why the last thing I wanted to talk about before we move on to the wife out questions is I was asking if you would please present a poem for us, because I love deaf poetry. Yeah. And you kept asking me like what kind. And I was like, don't ask me. Like I'm gonna say some militant, aggressive stuff.
Go hard. I want you to go hard. I'm gonna do my front flex right now. Bars! Like you used to do back in the day. Bars!
Funny as shit. You funny as shit. All right, let me think. All right, so I could do either like a classic or I just finished a new drink.
Let's do new heat. Let's see what let's see what.
All right, I haven't spit this to anybody.
Oh yeah, no, we got that.
Like no one.
We need like sound effects for the sound bar, so we do like the flex bomb.
I'll wait till next week. No.
All right, no, I'm just saying.
Yeah, this is like brand new. I haven't like even like rehearsed it myself yet. So this is like brand fucking.
We get all the premieres.
Yeah. This is like, y'all are special. All right. Justice. It's just ice frozen over. Deep lakes of oppression, big fish taking the bait of ice fishermen with fishing hooks bent into swastikas and Ku Klux Klan fishing nets. As oblivious children skate on thin ice, and we all know most Black folk can't swim. And we are tired of talking about what they might have been, because Casey was a good son and still found himself on the wrong end of a cop gun. They say white lies are small. I've seen white lies kill. I mean, for goodness sakes, look at Emmett Till. Young Emmett's whistle still echoes through the frozen lakes of Chicago, to hate-filled rivers of Mississippi, spirit weighed down by cotton gin, still walking the unkept streets of Katrina, while his blood leaks through the lead pipes of Flint. Black folks steady wading through waters they can't swim in, forgetting the Black bodies which haunt ocean floors. Killmonger, because death was better than bondage. Live longer, as great whites show off their dorsal fins, because Black blood smells sweet, and these white sharks love them some dark meat.
Wow.
I'm going to say, it's at the end of everything. That's so mean.
Yo, that was fire.
That's dope.
Like, that's, like, you write that down, like, you're going to have to go back and, like, I'm going to listen to it a couple of times. Like, that's real deep.
Yo, I'm going to, like, edit it out and be like, you know, Patreon, Cash App. You're going to have to drop your Cash App, $2, $5 tip.
Yes.
But, man, how long did it take you to write something like that?
I actually just wrote this thing today.
You just one day? Just like,
one day?
Yeah, this thing was just today.
Yeah, if I could, like...
She really did. I was like...
procrastinate like shit, though.
That was, like, really, like, fresh out the oven, like, bars. Like, you need footnotes for your words, man. Like, really, like, for real, like, you gotta know. Like, wow. That was impressive.
Yo, so, like, Rico Stanton, he always talking about, like, he got bars and stuff, like, and I've heard him say it like a million times, like, but yeah, that was one day. It reminds me of like the P. Diddy reality show when you have to like make people write.
The band?
Yeah.
Oh yeah!
He trapped him in the studio and they fought Wyclef Jean.
Oh man, wait, did they fought Wyclef?
I thought either it happened for real or like they did it in the Chappelle show, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Them Bambas was fighting in that show. I know Ness and Chopper City were fighting, but I mean, all I can say is that was a beautiful poem. When is your book dropping? Like, when is your album dropping? Like, when's your mixtape dropping?
Oh man, no time soon. I'm probably not gonna drop a mixtape anytime soon. Like, I'm gonna put this on Instagram though, like one of my videos. Yeah, so y'all be able to catch it there.
Yeah,
I'll put the captions.
Okay.
Yeah, that was going on the show. I was like, all these pictures, because I didn't know. I saw the video. Somebody had posted a video, and I was like, there is not a single freaking poem on your damn Instagram. All these pictures, like, because I was hitting them for photographers. We got to get some pictures now. But
yes.
Whatever. All right. So, again, drop the name of your organization. You got time to stick around for white belt questions? Or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
All right, cool. So, but before we get into that, I just want you to drop the name of your organization and the contact of your organization before we transition to the next segment.
Okay. Name of the organization is called FIST, which stands for Fighting Injustice Standing Together. And what else did you ask for?
Where we can find you. Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I'm horrible at plugging myself. So Diabolically Haitian, that's my Instagram, or FistDC.
Right. And are you still raising money?
We're always taking money. Right?
All right. So where
it's a nonprofit. We're always taking money.
Mm-hmm. Other than just going to Diabolically Haitian, hit up. Where do people normally, do they go to like a .com? Do they go to the Instagram?
Yeah, so
if they want to donate?
It's www.fistdc.org. And then you can just click on the donate tab and you can just donate like 5, 10, 50, or 100. We missed the 25.
Yeah, whatever. People don't need to be cheap.
Exactly.
People don't need to be cheap. You
know?
No
middle ground.
Show some love. And if you do want to be cheap, like I said, just find 2 or 3 other people to be cheap with you. Tell them, like, I think that was what was really easy. Is like when I hit up these people, I was just like, it means a lot to me. Like, if you could just do $10, like, are you really gonna be the asshole that can't do like $10?
Like, I appreciate it. One of your folks came through like with 50, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
I know. I appreciate it, man. Like that was a good lookout. Like that was a real good lookout. These women are gonna be so appreciative, And so yeah.
And that's what's up. All right, so let's take it away with these white belt problems.
Listen, I went on Instagram and I asked some people to tell us their like white belt blues, like their white belt problems. Do you have any further ones you'd like to share before I start? I know Nico probably has crazy ones.
Just like I always freeze up when when somebody's on top of me. Like I haven't learned the breathing yet.
Mm-hmm.
And like so like actually like I was doing pretty well. And then one day I was rolling and for whatever reason I like freaked out. And ever since then I haven't been able to like get it back. Like, I haven't been able to get it back. So I need to like work on my breathing.
That's a huge one.
Yeah.
Like when I was a white belt, my thing was like after the first day I realized like I'm not strong. Like I was a 16-year-old boy grappling grown men. Like I was tall and lanky, but I didn't, you know, I could barely like bench press my weight. I don't think I could bench press my body weight. I couldn't climb a rope to save my life. Like really? I'm not passing the president's physical fitness test. So I would just have to just go hard, but I'd be so fucking tired at the end of every roll.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm definitely like tired after every roll and like I want to die, but like I love it. So
yeah, I think like breathing is really hard. I think learning natural defenses is really hard too. Like, cause I know I have like choked you out like a million times from mount.
Oh, thanks.
But like, and I know that's like, it's very hard to defend if somebody knows what they're doing, but when you're training, you just learn like the basic defense. Like my biggest thing as a white belt was just to curl up in a ball. And like, so if you always block like your neck, like even if you're mounted and you're kind of panicking, but you're like holding your neck, I can't Ezekiel choke you. Like
yeah. No, I'm always like my neck open.
Like, so I always like to rely on like my natural thing is to like close up. So if I don't know what I'm doing, I'm at least trying to defend everything and trying to grasp on like reality. Like, so I always try to instill that to you, like always block your neck, like, cause like I will always like, cause that's my thing, cross-face killer. I'm always going for your neck. Like I'm always going for it.
The first phase of jiu-jitsu is learning how not to get killed. You know, it's it's one of those, I think all martial arts, and if you're sparring, the first step is learning how not to get fucked up.
Yeah.
So then once you learn how not to get fucked up, then we can play offense. But most of the time, it's basically like, I can't get choked 5 times every roll. Like, I have to learn how to not get choked at all.
But people always just want to learn how to choke. I think that's about.
Not me. When I was a white belt, I was like, listen, bro, my little scrawny ass ain't doing shit. Like, I need to learn how to defend, get them tired, and maybe get some offense off. But then one day, once I learned like how not to get submitted, I started going off.
Then
like,
it was just like,
I let the chopper sing, like just rap all day. So,
all right, you were smart, Tim. Then you came first with the defense.
Oh yeah, of course. Especially if you do like striking, like you need to learn how to keep your hands up, chin down, because you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna lose brain cells you don't get back. So I put out the question to the chat, and I'm gonna read off like a handful, like 2, 3.
Yeah, go one at a time. I don't have a memory. I can't remember multiple.
I'm gonna do one at a time, but what I'm saying is I'm only gonna read a couple.
All right. Yeah.
All right. So first one that really caught my eye was from Nick McLean 3 on Instagram. Grabbed my instructor's toe attempting a toe hold.
Wait, white belt?
Yes.
Yo, that's ballsy. What the hell were you doing attempting a toe hold in the first place?
I don't, wait, how is that the first thing that comes to mind when you hear this? Mine is like, who the fuck grabs just a toe? Just a toe.
You're never allowed to grab single digits.
Yeah, like why would you?
Wait, what is there a question there, or is this
no? Like
this is something that you did as a way? I want to know what happened. Like, wait, no, you need it. You better listen to the show and send in a follow up. Like, so you grabbed his toe and then did he hit you?
What? Like, yeah, I need to know what happened.
I'm gonna call him tonight and I'm gonna message like, you need to tell me the rest of this toe hold story because this shit is insane. No, I mean, a lot of people, they just said one of the things they did and their blues. And I think, like, why would a toe, like, if I'm in a fight with someone, if I grab, like, your finger or your toe, it's going to hurt. but like I'm not gonna do real damage.
I would grab the wrist with a foot, if anything. I'm trying to push the leg.
The first submission I ever got on an upper belt.
What?
Straight ankle lock.
For real?
Tapped the brown belt with it. I think I was a white or blue belt. I was probably blue. No. Yeah, I think it was a blue belt. Early blue belt. A brown belt with just left their feet dangling. And just drop back, straight ankle lock. Tap.
Dang.
Nice.
And lazy sleeping on you.
Yeah. So, no, you haven't got, so you've never done like a crazy submission to an upper belt?
Nah, not yet. But I'm learning that I like arm bars. I think I'm an arm bar person.
She said she's been training it took me forever to get a submission, but yeah, let's keep going. He's a big deal today.
I don't think she wants to have her name put out there because this next white belt problem, too many hot Brazilians inviting me to train at their academies.
Where is it? Oh,
yo,
we need to bring that person on and be like,
we do need to bring.
Come on. No, that's hilarious. Wait, hold on. Too many hot Brazilians are a problem.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, this is a white belt This is a white belt problem. But I feel as though if you're a woman, it's a problem that you have at every belt, right? First of all, that's a really lame line. That's so basic. Like, why don't you come train in my academy, babe? Like,
but as
I don't have that problem.
I do. I get it's like
you get that problem.
People trying to get her to be their mistress or their second wife.
I needed the training camp for Worlds one time. It's like it reminds me of, especially as a competitor. And I wasn't at a competition gym, and I needed somewhere to do my Worlds camp. And it reminds me of that meme where it's like the dude, the clown in the sewer, and he's like, "Hey kid, I got candy down here." Yeah. He's like, "Hey shorty, I got like some blue belts your size you can come train with." And hell yeah, my ass was in Baltimore in 2 seconds. But I did meet my good friend Lauren from that training session. But yeah, them black belts, they definitely always get me in with that training session. Or like that gym session, you want to go to the gym, and then you're like, no, I literally just wanted to go lift or go train. So shout out to DJ, because he's the only person that takes me around to all the gyms and stuff, and he's not doing it on creep moves. That is definitely a thing.
That is a thing?
That is a thing. I
would never try that. First of all, I'm not a creep, okay? So I don't have to creep on lower belts and stuff. Don't give me that look.
I mean, yeah.
It's true. I'm not. That's just really weird. I feel like if I were a girl doing jiu-jitsu, I'd feel really uncomfortable.
I wasn't giving you a look at because I think you're a creep. It's because I think you're not a creep because you have full DMs.
Oh, flooded. I don't have to creep. I don't have to. I keep telling you that OnlyFans is gonna happen, and then I'm gonna have to be like, I have a black belt problem. I have too many DMs going every day. My shit pings all day. That's my white belt. That's my black belt problem.
All right, focus on the podcast.
Sorry. Next one, coach not letting me beat up on the other white belts. I don't really get that.
I don't get that.
I guess if you're this is the guy who sent this is Killface Toast. So Killface, it's a pretty serious name. So he's a big dude. I actually friends with him on Instagram. Big solid dude. Do you have problems with crazy white belts? I guess you have, or crazy training partners as a white belt. How do you deal with that? I
don't. My training partners have always been good. When I train with guys, there's I don't know, you guys know Brandon the white, he does Muay Thai sometimes. He's a pretty good guy, a pretty big guy. So when he puts his weight on, it sucks. But I always enjoy training with guy white belts because it prepares you for the next level. If I can deal with a guy putting their pressure on me, then these chicks are gonna be nothing. I ain't worried about it. Yeah.
Technique conquers all. Nico, you're a tiny person. When you're a tiny white belt, how did you survive? I'm really impressed by how you were able to do it because you're a small person. I was always big.
One, I mastered the art of curling up into a ball. Two, I'm like a very aggressive person. Like I went into like jujitsu because I wanted to be like a pro fighter in MMA. So like I always kind of had that fighter mentality. Like I never trained like as like if it was a hobby. So it's like I wasn't always I'm always the worst. Like I'm always the smallest, like historically in all the teams that I've trained in. So it was always like a matter of being like very technical. But I did have a lot of problems because like if I was trying to be not necessarily aggressive or just stronger or trying to like win positions, like you really got to learn how to like balance like your aggression. Like guys will take it wrong, like especially because like I'm a small girl. So like if I like try to get my grips and I'm really strong, like and I start to pass, like they're more likely to respond like just using strength or like very aggressively because they don't want the pass as opposed to being very technical. But you know, I just kind of get used to it. Like I deal with it. Like I will have it every day, or like I myself just don't train as hard. Like, and I know I gotta stop myself or not try to win situations because I know the other person might turn up.
Damn. Once again, it's really hard out here for the ladies. Well, I have one last white belt problem or a case of the white belt blues from, I don't think he wants to have his name. I have to be careful because I put it on the story, but I don't tell people it's going to be on the podcast. So I can't. This one is kind of rough. Getting beat up by a blue belt girl smaller than me. Talk about a wake up call.
I mean, I think that's like the part of jiu-jitsu that you just kind of learn to accept. Like that's when you really see who you are. Like I said, are you going to be that asshole or are you going to be better at jiu-jitsu?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's when you know.
I think that it took a lot of growth, and the fact that he stuck with it shows that he's a really good person and like a really strong sense of self. I don't know if I could deal with that because that never happened to me.
Adekola talks about it, you know, like he talks about he got his ass whooped by this girl, and then he's like, and like I think he spent like 9 years, he said, trying to beat her ass, and he still couldn't. Like, so jiu-jitsu is like really humbling. I think that's the thing, and that's why Dom was talking about like they should try to force police into a jiu-jitsu environment, like because you'll see like really quick the asshole will come out of you, like when a little girl starts whooping on you, like
Yeah. Well, that's all I have. Those are all the white belt problems. Thanks for everyone that sent them my way. If I put your name out there and you didn't like it, I apologize, but we're not going to edit this. So I'm just going to be mad at me. Hold that.
All right. That's what's up. Thank you guys for sending in your questions. And thank you so much, Shai, for not only coming on, but coming on with some dope fire for us. That's what's up.
Yes. Bars. We bring the hard-hitting content. We give the jiu-jitsu news. We give you guys bars. Anything else, Nico? Where can we find you?
You know, as always, you can find me at No New Nico on Instagram. Make sure to follow Favela Jiu-Jitsu. It's Christmas time, so stop by Perry Athletics to get some Christmas presents. If you're not shopping at Perry Athletics, then you should be shopping at Favela Jiu-Jitsu. We got the Mushmaster merch back in stock. Not the tank tops, though. We got the warm shit.
Yes, we got sweaters, hoodies, all that good stuff. We got sweatpants, too, still, right? At Favela Jiu-Jitsu. Yeah. All right, you guys can find me at Tim Spriggs BJJ on Instagram and Facebook. I do not have an OnlyFans yet, but it's on the way. Go to timspriggsbjj.com to book yourself a seminar of a private lesson with me. I'll make sure to wear a hazmat suit because the Rona is real. This has been the BJJ Goons podcast. Peace.